Okay, for topic three, we're going to look at length within the measurement or within the metric system of measurement. Okay, so we need to understand that in the United States, there are basically two systems of measure that we use: the US or the English system, which is the feet, inches, miles, yards. Okay, and then there's the metric system, and the metric system is based around something called the meter. So kilometers, meters, centimeters, millimeters. Okay. And what's really cool about the metric system is it is based on powers of 10. So think of 1 followed by zeros. Those are powers of 10 greater than 1. Or point 1 or like 0.01 or 0.001. Those are your powers of 10 less than 1. Okay. And what's really nice about using powers of 10 is it makes converting really easy because essentially all we're doing is multiplying or dividing by powers of 10, which we already know means we just move a decimal left or right, depending. Okay. So, easy to convert within, a little bit weird to get used to because there's kind of some background information that you have to kind of learn and understand first, and then the conversions really aren't that bad. Okay. So, again, the basic unit of length in the metric system is called the meter. Very similar to a yard. Okay. It's not the same as a yard, but they're similar. Okay. We have a series of prefixes that we have to use, and these series of prefixes represent powers of 10 based on this meter. So we have the prefix kilo, which means 1,000. So if we attach kilo to meter, we're talking about 1,000 meters. We then have hecto, which means 100. So if I attach hecto in front of meter, I'm talking about 100 meters. Deca means 10. You can also sometimes see deca spelled D-E-K-A. They're the same. I think it just depends on textbooks. But deca means 10. So if I put deca in front of meter, that's 10 meters. Deci means 1/10. So if I put deci in front of a meter, it's 1/10 of a meter. Centi means 100th. So a centimeter is 100th of a meter. And then milli means 1,000th. So if I put milli in front of meter, it means 1,000th of a meter, which is just like a tiny little measure. Okay. Now, the final order is really important. You have to understand the order because if we can understand the order here, we can understand which direction we need to go to convert from one thing to the next. And that tells us really how many times we need to move a decimal. Okay. So the final order is kilo, hecto, deca, one single basic unit, so one single meter, then deci, centi, milli. Okay. So we would get, if we did this in order, we would get kilometer, which is abbreviated km, hectometer, which is HM, decameter, you have to be careful. Decameter is abbreviated DA. So deca is DA, not just D, so DAM. And then a single meter is just M. And then deci is just the D. Okay, so you can understand we have two of these prefixes that start with D, so we have to have a way to differentiate. So deca is DA, deci is just D. Centi is CM, and milli is MM. And you need to remember this order. And as weird as this is the way people can remember. Um, oh wait, what was King somebody died drinking chocolate milk? King Henry. I had to think about it for a second. So the way you can remember the order here is King Henry died by drinking chocolate milk. And I know that is absolutely ridiculous, but the K stands for kilo, the H stands for hecto, the D in died stands for deca, the B stands for basic units, which is just a single meter. Drinking, deci, chocolate, centi, milk, milli. So if that helps you remember, knock yourself out. Okay. So all you have to do is really figure out where you're at and where you need to be, and then just count how many places away you are and in which direction. And that's how we convert in the metric system. It's really that simple. Okay. It's essentially multiplying and dividing by powers of 10, but we know that when we multiply by powers of 10, we really just move a decimal to the right for each zero in the power of 10. And dividing by powers of 10, we just move the decimal to the left for each zero in the power of 10. So let's go ahead and practice. So the directions here say just convert, include units with each answer. So I have 5,300 millimeters, and I want to convert that to decimeters. Remember, deca is DA, deci is just D, okay? So let's look at this. So I've got my metric system listed out here. I am currently at, let me go here. There we go. I'm currently at milli, okay? I need to get to deci, okay? Well, to get from milli to deci, I need to move 2 places to the left. So move twice to the left. And that will be the conversion. So wherever your decimal is, figure out where your decimal is. If you don't see one, just assume it's at the end of the number. And here we need to move it 2 times to the left. So this would equal 53 decimeters. And that's it. So that's essentially the same as dividing by 100, okay? Now for part B, we have 4.5 kilometers. We want to convert that to meters. So I'm going to erase my side work here. All right. So I have 4.5 kilometers. That's over here. I want to move or convert to just meters. So that's right here. So I need to move to the right and I need to move 1, 2, 3 times. So move 3 times to the right. That's 2. Okay. So I'm going to do a little work down here. So I have 4.5. I need to move my decimal 1, 2, 3 times to the right. Every time I move past the end of the number, I just fill in a 0. So I would say 4.5 kilometers is the same thing as 4,500 meters. Okay. And then finally, let me erase my side work again. Okay. We have 14 hectometers. We want to convert this to centimeters. So hecto is right here. Centi is right here. So we definitely need to go from hecto to centi, which is to the right. And we need to move 1, 2, 3, 4 times to the right. So move 4 times to the right. So I have 14 hectometers. I don't see a decimal, and if you don't see a decimal, you assume it's at the end, okay? So I need to move my decimal 1, 2, 3, 4 times, fill in a 0 for each of those moves. So that tells me this is 140,000 centimeters. And that's it. That is quite literally it. You just need to make note of where you're starting and where you want to go. So make note of the direction and the number of times you need to move. Just don't forget to include a single basic unit in your order. Okay. Let's look at example 6. So this is just a couple of like kind of application type problems here. So example 6 says perform each operation, include correct units with the answer. So for part A, whoo, something just flew at my face. Again, I have my doors open and they all come to the light at my dinner table. That's why I take forever to turn my light on when I make these videos at night. All right, we have subtract 640 deci, so just dm is deci. So subtract 640 decimeters from 2.1 kilometers. Write the answer in millimeters. So this is kind of a big old mess, okay? And I think I might have a typo. I probably meant a different unit right here, but we're going to roll with it. So if we're going to subtract and eventually write our answer in millimeters, let's convert everything to millimeters to start with, okay? So we're going to start with 640 decimeters and we're going to convert it to millimeters, okay? So I'm going to write out my metric system again. So I have kilo, hecto, deca is DA, not D, a single meter, deci, centi, and milli. Okay, so I want to go basically decimeters to, I think we're converting to millimeters. So I'm going to start here and I'm going to go 1, 2 places to the right. So let's see what that looks like. I have 640. I need to assume my decimals at the end and move 2 to the right. So that's 64,000 millimeters. Okay, now we need to look at 2.1 kilometers. We're going to convert that to millimeters. So let's see what that looks like. Okay. So I'm at kilometers. I want to go all the way to millimeters. So this is going to be a big one. We need to go 1, 2, 3, 4. Whoopsie. I don't know why I did that. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 to the right. Okay. So if I have 2.1, I need to move 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Fill in a 0 for each of those. All right, so we have 2,100,000. Okay, So now we can go ahead and do our subtraction because we wanted to write our answer in millimeters. Both of these have been converted to millimeters, okay? So it said take 640 decimeters from 2.1 kilometers. So we're going to take kilometers and subtract decimeters, which is really all millimeters now, but we're gonna go with our subtraction. So 2,100,000. From that, I want to subtract 64,000. So let's see, we've got 0, 0, 0. Now, I cannot take 4 from 0. I cannot borrow from 0, but I can borrow from 1. So 1 becomes 0, 0 becomes 10, and then 10 becomes 9. And finally, that 0 above the 4 becomes a 10. So 10 minus 4 is 6. 9 minus 6 is 3. 0, there's nothing to subtract from. 2, there's nothing to subtract from. So essentially, I get 2,036,000 millimeters. So that's my final answer. And let me clean that up so you can read it. That's a little messy. Okay, so we have 2,036,000 millimeters. Okay, and again, I think I probably have a typo here, but it worked. We got to practice a little more with our converting. Okay, finally, we have add 65 centimeters to meters, to 3.5 meters, and we want to represent our answer in meters. So I'm going to take 65 centimeters and convert that to meters, and then we can add. Okay, so I have 65 centimeters. I want to write that as meters. So let's clean up our side work up here so that we can do this new one. So we have centimeters. We want to convert to meters. So I need to move my decimal to the left 1, 2, 3 times. Okay. So if I have 65, I assume my decimal's at the end and I want to move to the left 1, 2, 3 times. So add a decimal and a 0. And now I can do my subtraction. So I wanted to add, or addition in this case, I'm sorry. I wanted to add 65 centimeters to 3.5 meters, and I want my final answer to be in meters. So I get 3.5 meters plus 0.065 meters. And when I add, I get 5,653. So I get 3.565 meters as my final answer. Okay. So the good news, converting in the decimal system is not difficult. It takes a little getting used to though. So understanding those prefixes and what they all mean, like kilo is 1,000, hecto is 100, deca is 10, and so forth. And then understanding the order. Okay. Make sure you know the order. So remember, King Henry died by drinking chocolate milk. Okay. In the next worksheets, we've got at least 2 more. We're going to do one where we talk about weight and one where we talk about capacity, US and metric. So you'll get practice with both of these at least 2 more times. Okay? Stop share. There we go.